There's so many different ways to achieve success, and you guys don't realize, but you can achieve this success much faster than you think. Like in the blink of an eye, in the span of 30 days, the way that you could flip your life around, these things and these systems literally only take about a couple days to build up and put together. And a lot of the other things you kind of figure out as you go on, right? Oftentimes I see a lot of agency owners, a lot of business owners put themselves in a position where they're worried about a whole bunch of issues and a whole bag of issues before you even have the issue arise. Why are you going to worry about a problem that you don't have? You know what I'm saying? You have to take things in steps, priorities, right? Figure out how to generate the income before figuring out, I guess, the nicks and tweaks that you need to make to your website. Like, you guys have to figure out how to put together your offer, how to start generating some revenue before doing anything else. If you're not generating revenue and you're not working on the valuable work assets that actually generate income for you as a business owner, then what is the purpose of even doing the work? Oftentimes people spend so much time, they're just sitting there trying to figure out, oh, well, maybe if I change my logo, or maybe if I change my brand colors from green to blue. And bro, those things are not the things that are gonna result in you generating revenue. The main things that are gonna result in you generating revenue is, one, your offer, and two, your marketing behind it, and the systems and foundations. Like, if you guys are offering a service, let's say, you're a fitness coach, or a consultant, whatever it is, you own a marketing agency, literally whatever it is, how are you going to put yourself in the best position possible to generate some income? That is what you have to figure out. What are you going to put in place that is also going to result in people wanting to complete a purchase with you? So let's kind of talk numbers for a little bit so we can put together a metric breakdown, a KPI breakdown of kind of where you guys have to be at in order to generate X amount of revenue. I think that 50K a month should kind of be the benchmark. I think that's like the number where I would say you're in a little bit more of a comfortable area with your business. Once you're generating 50K a month with your business, I do think that that puts you in a position where you could properly say, all right, I actually have something going on. I actually have an agency and I actually have some work to do. Under that, when you get to the 20, 30K a month mark, these are a lot of things that I kind of feel like you don't have a full-blown agency because you don't necessarily have the budget to put somebody on a full-time salary. You don't necessarily have the budget to develop a whole team to be able to work with you full-time. So at that point, I think a lot of the work that gets done around 30K a month is things that you could kind of do individually. But past 30K a month, I do really think that's when things start to kind of develop into something that is, large and more scalable. So when you put certain things into perspective, right, we're going to talk about how to get to that 50K a month mark, and I guess where your numbers have to be at, right? So first things first, where are you getting your leads from? Let's say you're generating organic leads, right? Well, if you're generating organic leads, how many videos do you have to post in order to generate X amount of leads? So let's say for every 1,000 views, you get 5 leads. Well, now these 5 leads essentially are booked into your calendar. They went through your VSL, they went through everything, and they got booked in. So out of those 5 leads, how many leads are actually qualified and have the probability of closing or coming on board? Not only that, what is your offer structure looking like? When you first start with this stuff, I would probably say that a cool price point, my apologies, I was gonna call. So this is kind of what I'm saying. So let's put things into perspective, right? When you initially get started, depending on what your service is, I'm thinking that it's very easy to start off selling something at around 5K. That's kind of a nice price point to have because you onboard 10 clients or 10 people and you get yourself to 50K a month. The one issue that I have with offering fees up front is that you also want to figure out how to generate some sort of recurring revenue based upon selling that, because when you bring somebody on board for 5K, you're technically liable to the 5K. The reason why I say that is no matter what the legalities are behind you offering the service, you doing your part or whatever it is, if somebody wants to file a chargeback against you, they will file a chargeback against you, and there's not much you could do about it. Sure, you could go out and you could say, oh, I'm going to go submit the information. Sure, you could go out and say you're going to file a lawsuit. Sure, you could go out and do that. But is it really worth it for you guys to file a lawsuit for 5K or 10K? No. And especially if it's something that's happened on multiple occasions, it's not something that's really worth doing. So when you really put things into perspective, right? you have to generate some sort of revenue off of bringing a client on. What is the benefit of somebody paying you 5K if they're going to come on and you're not going to make anything off of, them being active and them obviously paying you for your service, right? If you're doing like a web development service or whatever it is, it's a one and done. But if you're onboarding somebody for a set price and have to do ongoing service, you're going to have ongoing fees. So you have to figure out how to generate some sort of revenue that's essentially going to cover those ongoing fees and potentially allow you to profit off of them long term. So that's a big thing. But let's just talk numbers, right? So if for every 10 calls you have that show up, I would probably say you have 15 calls to have 10 show. You at least want to close 2 or 3 of those. That puts you at 15K a month. So you have to really start breaking things down. If you're going to be running paid ad spend, well, if you're running paid ad spend, you want to be onboarding people for at least 10K, depending on what you're offering. If you're offering a fitness program, if you're offering, some sort of marketing strategy or whatever it is, like, you have to be able to have the liquidity there to leverage to actually be able to provide a proper service. And I think that most people don't understand this. They want to make money and they essentially want to provide services for people and get paid to do it, but you also have to be able to set realistic price points. It is difficult to service somebody on something under 10K because there's a lot of liability that goes on with servicing them. You might need softwares, you might run into certain issues, you have to build this out, you have to build that out, and you're running your marketing spend on the front end as well to always acquire new clients. So even if it costed you, let's say $2,500 to close somebody at 5K, that only gives you $2,500 of liquidity, right? And you need to spend another $2,500 to essentially acquire somebody. So the issue with that is it puts you in a position where you're technically working off of, let's say, $2,500, if not $3,000, minus card fees and all that stuff, to essentially actually provide somebody a service. There's just no money there for you to play with, right? And then you want to sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm going to be profitable off of this, and that's the money that I'm going to use to live. Well, you can't do that because you need to use that liquidity to even be able to, 1, own and operate your business. 2, you have to be able to use that to actually effectively provide the service. And then 3, if you have team members that you have to pay off, there's just no money there for you to actually work with. The only way that it makes sense to sell at that price point is if you're doing things organically. And even at that, the amount of work that goes into you working organically to generate leads just for you to end up closing maybe one deal at 5K is just not worth it, right? So you guys have to think about the time that you invest into certain things, the amount of energy that it takes to essentially onboard one client, and the amount of money that you're going to need to actually properly service somebody. So bare minimum, and I think this is the issue, a lot of agency owners don't realize that they could offer their services for at least 10K a pop, bare minimum. And more times I feel like agency owners, when they're getting started, don't realize that their services are actually worth those prices. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times people set prices because they want to talk about what's realistic to close and whatever. Bro, the type of people that you're going to bring on for $2,500 are going to be a bigger liability and a bigger headache than anything else. And most people just straight up just don't realize that. So I'm telling you guys, the one piece of advice that I have for you, don't offer any services under 10K. Don't offer any services under 10K because it's just, in my opinion, it's personally just not doable. The other thing is, I want you guys to understand that your sales infrastructure, your offer is your whole pitch. The way that you put that together in a manner that is scalable and that has longevity in it will in turn allow you to generate those 50K months. If you're offering a service at 10K, all you have to do is onboard, let's say, one person a week, and you're closing 40, 50K a month. And at that point, you have enough liquidity to then scale your business up, right? I'm at a current point with my agency where on the back end, we have a good amount of money coming in recurring based on our performance. Close to about, I want to say maybe 30, 40K a month. I want to work that up to over 100K a month in recurring. And on the front end, I'm at a point where we are trying to move back up towards bigger numbers. I'm trying to push for our first $500,000 a month in this next 30 days or so. And we'll see if we're going to be able to do it. And once I get there, I guess I learned something from every step of the journey, bro. Like, every single time I tweak something, I learn something from the tweaks that I make, right? And based upon that, I'll be able to document it and hop on and give you guys the sauce straight up. I'm not holding anything back. What good does it do me to hold the secret sauce on scaling an agency? Bro, I think we have a really good service, and I think we have a very good system in place to actually properly be able to provide services to people's benefit. So me knowing that Nobody's gonna outbid my agency. Nobody's gonna do better than our agency. The only thing is, at the end of the day, from a client's perspective, what sounds the best is technically the best, but it doesn't mean they're gonna get the best. So yeah, long story short, y'all, keep it pushing. I hope y'all got something from this video. Believe in yourselves, apply the information that I'm giving you guys in this video, and just crush it, bro. So yeah, happy Monday, happy Memorial Day. This will bring us to the end of the video, y'all. The link to the Telegram, as always, is in the description down below. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.